you on a date. How about Schindler's List?
Unexploded ordnance.
Dude, all I'm saying is me and my friends would have thrown rocks at it.
Why do women live longer than men?
Well, she matched her nails to her shirt and her necklace. I don't know what you're doing.
Say hi to Eli. He's racially ambiguous, and Brandon, his hair is fucking fabulous. And Donut, a dark joke disposition, and there's a fat electrician. Welcome to Unsubscribe.
And then you're gonna drink all of it.
You down it, yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
You can
All
take a
of it.
little sip if you want. Sure. Just if you want.
Y'all ready?
We ready to go?
Yeah. 3, 2, 1.
Hi everyone, welcome to Unsubscribed Podcast. We are joined today in a very special episode. We have Brandon Herrera, Brandon Herrera's Oma, Eli Doubletap, myself, Donut Operator. Thank you so much for joining us.
It feels so weird being on this side.
Really?
I usually sit there every time.
Oh, is this
no matter
throwing
what.
you off a little bit?
I'm like,
This is normally Eli's seat on the left side.
this is the first time ever in 200 episodes. Hi, we're so excited to have you. Thank you for coming.
You're welcome.
You excited?
Yes, you're excited.
I'm really excited. I teased this, I don't know, maybe 20, 30 episodes ago. I thought, I just thought about it while we were recording. I'm like, oh man, you know, my Oma's lived a lot of life, and she's got some crazy stories, and you know, I think our audience might be interested in hearing some of them. And I pitched it by the guys. They said they'd love to come out here and talk to you, and here we are.
Why you want to hear an old lady's childhood experience?
Yes, of course. They're amazing stories. Brandon has given us a brief glimpses of your history, and it is phenomenal. And I think that's where we start. Where were you when you were a kid? Where did you grow up at?
I was in Mannheim, and I remember I was about 6 years old. I went to school, and everything was still quiet. So I don't know if I was in school for 1 or 2 years. I'm not sure. And then when the sirens went off more often, we have lessons at school. But then they bombed the surrounding areas, so the school was closed. And then we had an organization in Mannheim where they sent children, they want to get out of the danger areas. Yeah. They send them away to safe places.
So get them out of Germany and
Yes,
to other places.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So just real quick, when you were 6 years old, what time period was that? Like 1940?
Well, what year were you born?
32.
1932. Okay, so this would have been like 38, 39.
Gotcha.
So my mom said, you got to, both of my brother, my youngest brother and myself. So I was the first one to get picked. Of course, I was tiny, and you know.
You were the pretty one, is what you. That was the way I always heard the story.
Yeah. And I really had good people. They took me in. They were rich people. Okay.
And this was in France?
Yes. It was outside of France. You know, small town. I forgot the name of it. And I had it made because they had only one son. And he was a baker. Boy, the good cakes he brought home. And I really should have been happy there, but I wasn't, because she wouldn't let me go see my friends, surrounding friends, you know. Okay. She wanted me to be more with her friends. And I got more and more homesick. And my mom came and visited. And everything was still okay then. But then they mentioned to adopt me. That was it. I saved my money up. I had an allowance every week from them. And one day I went on the train and I went home. I left everything behind.
So this is you're going from France back to Germany during this time? Okay.
Because
how old were you?
they said they wanted to adopt you, right?
Yeah, they wanted to adopt me, and that scared me. So I took off.
Because you were at 6 years old at this time?
No, I was a little older, maybe 8, 9, I would say. You know.
And then what time did you separate from your parents? At 8 or 9 is when they separated you from and moved you to France from your parents?
Yeah. And then I didn't stay too long with friends. I would say maybe 6, 8 months.
Okay.
And then I went back home.
But still at 8, that's wild.
And my mom was so mad.
And you you went back alone?
Yeah,
Yeah. So alone at
From France to Germany alone?
alone.
And you bought a ticket by yourself. You saved up.
Yes. I was every day on the train station. I said, I want to go home, but I don't have enough money, you know. So I said, I'm going to save all my money, all my allowance. And one day I did it. I just went, you know. So like I said,
most 8-year-olds today don't know how to order a pizza on the phone.
it's true.
I take my 9-year-old to the bus because I don't think
Really?
he can make it.
No.
And that's 2 blocks away.
In a way, when I went home, she was pretty upset, my mom.
Yeah.
And I said, don't send me back, please, you know. I don't want to go back. I want to be with you. So that was number one. Then they were bombing Mannheim for the first time. And we had, at the time, we had a room in an underground bunker. Every night we spent the night there.
Okay.
Yeah. Daytime we went home. But sometimes the siren went off, so we go to different cellars, you know, whatever we were close by. And that one day we were looking for food because we were rationed at the time. And we had about half a loaf of bread a week, you know. Yeah. We even eat, I hate to say that, horse meat. It was pretty good at the time. And we had nothing, right?
Meat's meat.
If you've ever had Taco Bell, then you've had it too.
Yeah.
So, where was I?
I said the bunkers.
Yeah.
This is 1940-ish or...
Oh, don't ask me for this.
Oh, you're good, girl. You're
I
good.
don't remember the years.
It's all right.
You know, I don't,
Early 40s, I would say.
yeah, I don't know 100% the age either, you know.
Yeah,
But
good.
pretty close. So that day, we went to the bunker and they were bombing. Matter of fact, one of the bombs hit the bunker, but it didn't injure nobody.
Okay.
You know, it was pretty close, but it was okay. And I don't know if I should tell you that story. We had bunk beds, 2, 4, 6 bunk beds in that room. There was my mother on the bottom. I was on the second. My brother was right on the second one and the other one. And friends of ours were with us. They were good friends. And we always left the door open about like this so we get a little light into the room. And
that's the door to like the outside hallway in the bunker or to the
yeah,
outside?
there were light on the outside.
Because this is underground. This is no light. It's just pitch black if that door is closed.
No, there were lights.
Okay, there is
There
lights.
was-
Okay.
Yeah. But because we didn't want to sleep with the light on, we left the door open to get light from the hallway. So I woke up. You ever smell somebody that smokes a lot? I mean,
Yes,
heavy
Connor.
smoker?
Yeah, Connor. Yeah.
No.
What did I do?
I mean, heavy. I
Connor.
woke up.
I smoke a lot of cigarettes on mine, sorry.
And I woke up, and there was a tall guy standing right in front of my bed. I was uncovered, okay? I had pajamas on though. And I thought, I was scared. Of course, I was a young girl, you know. And I didn't want to scream, so I just moved back from the bed to the wall, and I tried to wake my brother up. And my brother said, there she goes again. She got a nightmare, because I did have nightmares sometimes, you know, from the war. And I said, please, I beg somebody. No, he went to close the door, see, and it was pitch black. And that's what really scared me. And I said, please, somebody get up and turn the light on. There's somebody in here, you know. Like I said, my brother says she's got nightmares. But the lady that we know, I get up, Erica, she says, I turn the light on. So he was laying on a bench in the room, right? Like he was sleeping, but he wasn't sleeping. You know, I know better. And they called the manager from the underground bunker and the preacher. And they came in and they said, sir, you don't have a place to stay? Or you need, you know. He wouldn't answer, like he was sound asleep. I said, he's not sleeping. He was just standing here, you know. And so my dad, the guys, they were across the hall, my dad and other guys, they came over and they got then shook him, you know, and says, look, you need someplace to stay, or what is it, you know? And all of a sudden he jumped up and he ran out of the room and he said something in a different language. We didn't know what it was. But he had a German uniform on, but it was not complete. He only had a jacket on, you see. Oh. And he went our room was right next to the exit and the entrance. He took off and we never seen him again, you know.
Who do you think he was, Brandon? Like a deserter, or like
the way I'd heard the story before, I would have assumed deserter, but the other language it's interesting. I don't really.
I don't know what, like he was cussing us out or something, you know, something like this.
You had no idea what language. You knew it was different.
He was kind of, yeah. He was not German.
And he
Definitely.
just snuck in the middle of the night. And thankfully, was it the smell that woke you up?
Yeah.
No.
He had real bad smell, like real heavy smoker. And maybe drinking, who knows. But anyway, from that day on, they closed the doors in the bunker, so nobody could go in and out, you know, after a certain time.
If only the Buffalo public school system could take some notes.
it was Connor, dude.
I really don't like the comparisons being made between me and this predator.
But you look great for your age. He's like, that would have been terrifying, especially when you're 8 to 10 years old at that time.
Maybe I was a little older, maybe 10, 11.
That's still.
Because you would have been, so if you were born in 32, you would have been 12 to 13 when the war ended?
I think I was almost 15. 14, I would say.
14, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So that within that time span.
Right.
And you'd go down there. So it was the evening. So during the day you would be up and then
We've
going
been
back.
home, you know, when the sirens went off. We said, I was going to which place? Depends if we were out looking for food, of course. My mom and I, we used to go to the farmers and traded clothes or sheets, stuff, you know, for food. Because we didn't have enough food, you know. And, well, anyway, my brother and I, we used to look if our house was still standing, you know. So we walked home, of course, looking. The houses were burning, you know, that nothing came down on us. And we came to this giant hole. I never forget that. Giant hole. And I said, what's this? And the closer we got, we seen that big bomb, I mean, big one. That was not exploded, you see. I don't know what they say in English, but we say blindgänger, you know. It didn't explode.
Unexploded
And my
ordnance.
brother, smart brother, he was only a year older than I. He said, don't move. And I was freezing there. What do you want me to do, you know? He took off. He left me standing there.
Dude, all I'm saying is me and my friends would have thrown rocks at it.
Tink,
Yeah,
tink,
let's see what happens.
Why do women live longer than men?
Let's light this candle.
Hey, Brandon, you ever wake up in your bed feeling like you just fought in a war?
Yeah, why do you ask?
You ever wake up and feel like you slept in a sauna?
Yeah, I believe that's called night sweats.
Means you got a trash mattress, Brandon.
Why are we talking like Macho Man Randy Savage?
Cause today we're talking about our premier sponsorship, GHOSTBED.com. GHOSTBED mattresses are built with cooling technology, so you're not sweating through your sheets like some street bum. You stay cool, comfortable, and most importantly, you sleep through your night. I got you for 3 minutes, but I got GHOSTBED all night. You know what's longer than 3 minutes, Brandon? Any sexual experience I've ever had? GHOSTBED's 20 to 25 year warranty. And you've got a 101 night free trial to test it out. Ooh, yeah. And you know what, brother? They don't just sell mattresses. They have bases, pillows, sheets, the whole empanada. Just pick your mattress and grab a bundle.
Right now, prices are already lower, but you'll get an extra 10% off when you use code unsubscribe at checkout. Head over to ghostbed.com/unsubscribe and get started today.
That's ghostbed.com/unsubscribe. Use the code unsubscribe.
Or I'll start rattling chains under your bed until you do.
Sleep better, stay cooler.
And I said, why did you do that? I was tiptoeing backwards, you know.
Yeah.
But he says, I tried to get help. I said, yeah, to tell me to stop there. But anyway,
That's a funny explanation.
yeah. So
Just
that
a
was,
big bomb just sitting in the middle of the road, especially at that age.
yeah, that was,
Tink.
I
Tink.
know. What, how was your view at that time? Like, what was your understanding at that age of what's going on? Like, you understood there was a war going on.
Yeah.
But was it just like, we're civilians, we're scared, we're just trying
no,
to get out
my
of the war?
mind always, how long is it going to be? When is it over, right? That's what I always said. But it was long, long, long. Anyway, that day, then my mom got kind of restless again. She says, they've thrown bombs now in our city. They're getting closer and closer, and they get more and more, you know. So she says, you need to go to our friends in the Black Forest. We had friends in the Black Forest. And it was safe there. They didn't bomb there, you know. And I said, Mom, don't send me away again, you know. I didn't want to go. But meanwhile, before she sent me anyway, we went to, like I said, looking where we get some food. And the siren went off and said, it's too late to go to our bunker where we were. We were in a different place. Let's go home. I said, Mom, I'm hungry, you know. Let's get something to eat. And we go in our cellar. And we did. And there was another funny story. It was on the 10th of May, a day before my birthday. I said, oh, they sent me a birthday gift early.
There's that dark humor.
Yeah, I love it.
It's generations deep.
Yeah.
And, well, we made it through this one. But afterwards, we found out that cellar we used to go to when we were out, that supposed to be bomb-proof, okay? So they said. And we found out the bomb that came from the back into the cellar and killed so many people. And we went there, of course, terrified. I remember that. Went there and I found that baby, you know, and I grabbed that baby and I cleaned the sand and the dirt and everything out, you know. And the mother screaming for her baby is, she had half of her face missing. I seen that like yesterday. And the baby died in my arms, you know. But there were no doctors, you know, hospitals, nothing. Everything was a mess. So we had to tell the lady, we got your baby, you know, just to get her calmed down, you know. And the rest of the bodies, they brought them to school areas or restaurants, and they lined them up and covered them, you know. And my brother was always gone, my dad. They had to help them, stupid Nazis, to build a wall by the water. We lived right by the water, you see. Yeah. And they were putting like a safety wall or something, I don't know. So they were always gone. So we didn't know what happened to them. So we looked at everybody, hoping we don't find them, you know. And,
Thank you so much.
It's okay. And then everything was filled up. They put the bodies up in trucks, just, you know, put them up in trucks. We don't know where they went or what. And anyway, another day, another alarm, right? So we went back to, I think it was Arcella, yeah. And we heard commotions. There were English plane was shut down over our city, and the parachute, the guy came down in our street, you know, where we lived. And of course, some people, oh, there's one of them. You know how it was. It was war.
Do you remember if it was American or British or who it was?
It was not Americans.
So it was
the
British.
English came in first. The English. And so my mom, she was more outspoken than I am, but she went over there and she said, you leave that young man alone. You know, she said, I got a son, and he's in Africa, in El Alamein.
Yeah.
He got prisoner in El Alamein and then shipped to the States, right? And she tried to protect that young man. There were 2 SS guys right there, and they arrested my mom. They said she's a country traitor. She was taken to the, I don't know where they were, you know, their offices or whatever. And they put a sign out with other people that she was a country traitor. But I'm jumping ahead there because meanwhile, there was more stuff going on. May I backtrack?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But to finish that out real quick, I think what, and correct me if I get any of this wrong, because this is over the course of years hearing, you know, stories, some of them secondhand. But they said that I was told that they were about to ship her off to a concentration camp.
Right.
And then they were
Yeah,
liberated.
See, that's why I jumped ahead. I just thought about it because the English, they came, that's why they didn't have time to ship my mom out, see? Because the Nazi was scattering, they took off, you know. I went a little bit too far. Because I forgot the second trip to the Black Forest.
What is the Black Forest?
That's an area close to Switzerland.
Okay.
And they lived there, but they were good friends of ours. They moved there. And I felt good there because I knew them, you know. And
A town inside a forest, or is it just a city?
It's like a region.
No, it's a little city called Black Forest.
Okay. Beautiful.
And so I went to school there, you know, and then my mom came to visit again, and she got sick. So
The Black Forest.
Oh, okay. That's
it's real pretty.
Yeah, beautiful. Oh my
Yeah.
God, yeah.
It's real
Gorgeous.
pretty.
Gorgeous.
Yeah. So my mom got sick. She had gallbladder attack, and they didn't have a doctor in that little town, you know. So they took it, but I would say, I don't know, but 4 miles away to the hospital. She had surgery there. And I walked, I think, I couldn't do it again. I don't think I could. I walked through the woods by myself with smelling the boars. You know what a boar is?
The big pigs?
Pretty bad animal, you know.
Yeah, boars do. Yeah, very
And I was
aggressive.
Yeah.
Going, when I smelled them, I was going, just looking, you know, and see which tree can I climb, you know.
Just walking through the Black Forest alone as a child.
Alone that time. My shoes, I had holes in. Honestly, by the time I got to that hospital.
You said every time you smelled a boar, you were ready to climb a tree.
Yeah.
And this is like 12 years old.
I
Probably
was
younger,
pretty
maybe.
Younger. In a way, they were all nice in the hospital. They let me stay there because my mom, you know, and till she could travel. And then we took her back to the friends of ours, you know, but by train. And she stayed till she felt better. And then she said, honey, I got to go home. There's your brother, there's her husband, you know. So she left. I said, okay. It was hard thinking she wasn't completely healed, you know. But I stayed a while, and then I said, no, I got to go home, you know. I got to take care of her. And I did it again. I saved my money, and I went on the train, heading for Mannheim. And on the way to Mannheim, I heard sirens in the distance, and the train stopped. And they said, everybody out. Go to the woods. There were a lot of woods, you know, because they used to target the bridges, the trains, you know, all this.
So all the infrastructure that they can damage.
Yeah. So we had to stay there for a while till we got the clear to go back, you know. So by the time I reached Mannheim, we couldn't go into the, what they call it, Bahnhof, you know, the
Train station.
Yes, the train station, because they was bombed. So I had a half a mile, I had to walk, you know, to go home. And I was glad I went home because Mom's wounds didn't look good, you know, they were infected. So I had to take care of my mom, clean the wounds, and just take care of her, you know. And then one day, the siren went off again. So I said, Mom, where are we going now? We don't want to go to our cellar. It's getting pretty bad, you know, they're bombing a lot lately. So I said, there's an underground bunker across the bridge, you know. We lived right by the Neckar River. And we thought we could make it good, but it was kind of late. So half at the bridge, my mom broke down. She couldn't walk. She said, I can't walk no more. I said, you have to. You got to get up because we got to make it, you know.
You're pushing your mom, so you're motivating her to do.
And I tried to pull up. Nobody helps you. They all run for their lives, you know. And we finally made it, but I seen already the bombs, you know. And it seems like, I'll never forget it, going down the steps with my mom, like, close the door, like they're coming right at us, you know, the sound of it and all this. So that went okay, I guess. And I already told you the story with that young man coming down and, you know. So,
Well, while we're there, we kind of, if we could backtrack even a little bit more, because you mentioned in that story that your mom was saying, look, I have a son who was captured as well.
Exactly.
I want you to treat him well because
Right.
I want my son to be treated well.
Right.
Can we talk a little bit about your brother?
Oh, my brother, he was drafted to the army.
What was his name?
He was drafted.
What was his name?
Hans?
Hans.
Yeah,
It was Hans and Willie, right?
really. Yeah. He was my oldest brother. He was 10 years, you know.
Hey guys, who's gonna get the next triple double in the WNBA? Is it Caitlin Clark?
None of us watched that.
It's Caitlin Clark, for sure.
I don't know what the any of those letters mean.
Just use the Hall of Fame app. It's got all the data on everything, all the analytics.
What's WNBA?
It's what they play in hell.
It's like basketball, but nobody can dunk.
I can't wait to bet on layup after layup after layup.
Check the app. Can I bet on how many rebounds Angel Reese gets that are from her own missed layups? Is there a parlay for that?
Wait, the Hall of Fame app, was that the one that was started by 2 Ivy League grads?
This is not your buddy's group chat full of hot takes.
It's a full analytics engine.
And it's built for the average everyday sports fan, so it's easy and intuitive to use. No big words that are hard to pronounce.
Whether it's MLB, NBA, NFL, Hall of Fame has all the analytics.
And with over 6,000 5-star reviews, it's safe to say that HOF has already helped a lot of people.
Unlike my HOA, who I am actively fighting with. F you, Betty.
Our listeners get a 7-day free trial and 50% off their first month.
That's half.
Just download the HOF app and use the code UNSUB at checkout.
For a limited time only, our listeners get not only a 7-day free trial, but 50% off at checkout when you use code UNSUB.
Just download the HOF app on iOS or Android, use the code UNSUB, and you're all set.
Your senior.
Yeah. And like I said, he was in Africa, and then he got captured in El Alamein. And
So he fought under Rommel with the North African campaign
Yes.
until...
and first he came to the States. I forgot where he was. But he came to the States, and he didn't have it good, you know, in prison. But then he got transferred to England, and he had it made. He was striving for the higher colonel or mayor, or whatever he was, you know. He was a striver. He loved it there. He had it made.
Way better than war.
And were you allowed to talk to him at all, like any letters or correspondence?
No.
Or- okay.
Well, when he was in Africa, we did, before he got captured.
Right,
You know,
right.
that little bit we got, I'll never forget it. We always put a little bit of our food, not food, but candy or chocolate or something in his package. And we sent him them real thin scarves because of the sandstorms they had, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they had sandstorms.
Eli knows.
Oh, yeah. I know.
They had sandstorms. Yeah. Anyway, the other story was, where were we?
So we were just talking about your brother being captured and then
Yeah.
driving for the colonel and whatnot.
Right. And, well, a little later on, like I said, my dad was never there, my brother was never there. It was just me and my mom.
They were off doing labor. They were off being forced to do labor.
Yes, they were forced to. And so we had to look out for ourselves, you know.
Because your father was a lot older, right?
Yes, 25 years older than my mom.
Oh, okay.
Because no, I'm recounting a little bit of family history that I think I know about. Please tell me if I'm wrong.
No, you
I think that so he was kind of a little on the older side during World War I, but he was part of like the militia that they used for like not the young men, but it was called the Lundgewehr, which was basically like a militia of like older people that they won't send to the front lines, but still like ready to fight.
Gotcha. So they're reserves, army reserves almost.
Do you remember when your father was born? What year?
You had,
Sorry, I know there was that. I'm not putting you on the spot, but you said he was 25 years older than
okay,
your
my
mom.
mom was born in 01.
Okay, so he would have been born in
25
the
years later.
1870s.
Yeah, 1876, 1875.
Yeah. Yeah, he was,
And so at this point in the war, he would be in his 70s.
no, he was young, I think he was in,
Okay.
yeah.
But still not a spry young man.
No, But, oh goodness, then, yeah, like I said, my mom was there, whole prisoner. There was 30, and I got them all, yeah. And my dad came finally home, and we decided we'll go to the bunker that's closer to us, because it was too far to go, because you couldn't wait the bomb. You know, you can't say, wait till we get there. It's impossible. So we went to the bunker by the water. That's the upright bunker, the tall one, you know, supposed to be bomb safe. So me and my brother, me and my dad, we were going and get some food, and Mom was already in the bunker, and my brother, I don't know where he was. So we went home, we got food, and on the way to the riverside, we heard them cannons, you heard it, you know. I
Like
can even,
artillery.
yeah, you can hear it and you don't know where it hits. And one of them came pretty loud, and we went into the doorway, you know, just covered ourselves. But we had to cross the field to get to the bunker. And the English were across the river already by then, you see. So they were shooting guns and everything. So we were crawling on the floor, on the ground, getting to the bunker, you know. And they were shooting. I just, we made it somehow, and they already closed the bunker, you know. And we were banging on them steel doors, open the doors. We need to get in, you know. Finally, they decided it was us, you know. And we made it in. But that was really, really scared, really scared.
Getting shot at is terrifying.
I'm telling you. So, what else we got?
Well, there was one story I found really interesting too about your younger brother, which would have been
Really?
Willie, about him surrendering to the British.
Oh, afterwards. Okay. When the British came across, before they came across, they were right across the river. Okay, when we went to the bunker, my dad and I. And my youngest brother, we didn't know that till afterwards, you know, he was always gone. The mayor from my city, two other gentlemen, and my brother, for some reason, they went in the boat, and they went across the river, with the white flag, of course, to give the city to, I don't know.
Surrender.
Surrender the city.
Yeah. And my brother forgot he had a gun, a knife in his side pocket, you know. And just before he got all the way across, he realized that. So he grabbed the knife and let it go in the water.
Dang, I bet you missed that one, don't you, Brandon?
Right?
Oh,
That
my
knife?
goodness.
That would have been kind of cool.
That would have been a cool heirloom.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've done that many times at TSA for the same reason.
Yeah, tossed a couple of knives at the airport.
Yeah.
And the Germans, of course, they disappeared from the riverfront, of course, right? Or my mom would have been shipped out. But she was in a time where she was just lucky, you know?
Yeah.
I forgot to tell you the story. When I was back, I was maybe 8 years old, something like this, where I thought, what is going on? You know, they were keeping people out of their apartments, and a lot of Jews had stores and everything. I said, what's going on? You know, we didn't know what was going on. So they told the people they're going to send the Jews to a new colony where all the Jews get together, their own, you know.
Little Jew colony. pretty
Yes.
much, yeah.
And while they were gone, that's my clock.
Means it's 6 o'clock.
Yeah. And while they were gone, they burned everything. I remember they thrown furniture out of the windows. You know, it was terrible. There was a sight I never forget either. You know, they shipped them out, and we didn't know where they were going.
And at 8 years old, you have no concept for what's
idea.
going on.
You know?
They're just you just seeing stuff thrown out
We
one day.
did not heard about the concentration camps till the war were over. Honestly,
Yeah.
we didn't know. And I couldn't believe it. Matter of fact, later on, when I met your Oprah, we went to a movie. The first movie we went, they showed concentration camps and all this, you know. I was shocked. And I said, and my mom would have been there too, you know, after all you go through. It was miserable. It was not a good childhood, put it this way, you know. And even my mom and my dad, I shouldn't say that, but 25 years is too much different in a marriage, you know. It was good in the beginning because she was young, he was still in his 50s, you know, it was okay. But later on is when it started, you know, because my mom wanted a new dress later on, and, you know, she wanted to look good. My dad was jealous. It's crazy. Because my mom was a good-looking woman, you know. So there were always fights. And where was I? Under the table. You know. So from small kid on, it was, you know, we didn't have no graduations or stuff like that, you know.
When did you make your way to the United States?
Well, I was, how old was I? I was 18 and a half when I met her dad, Yoko.
All this time in Germany, and she shacks up with the first Texan she meets.
You met a Texan boy?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was from Laredo.
Laredo?
Yeah. Well,
Where did you meet him at?
Freya, really. You know where Freya is?
It's like Dilley,
Oh,
Texas.
okay.
Oh, Dilley.
Yeah.
Freya.
Okay.
Yeah.
Frio County.
How did you meet a Texan boy?
Well, my brother and I, we went to, what do you call it, a guest house, we called it, okay, restaurant. Okay. And they started first, the guy was playing the harmonica.
Accordion.
And we go there on a Saturday, you know. But my brother didn't let me go alone. I was almost 19. You know.
It's a protective brother.
Yeah. And I met really my husband's friend first. You know, they were all in the same company. And he was a darn good-looking guy, I tell you. But he likes to fight. When there was a fight going on in the place, he was involved, and I didn't like that, you see. So I said, no, that's not the guy for me. And one day, he brought Dad with him, Oprah. And we were talking when he was gone, you know, and I said, yeah, I know he wanted me to be his girlfriend, but I don't like it when somebody get involved in somebody else's fights, you know. And he said, yeah, he's kind of fighter, you know. We were talking. He said, well, you want to go to a movie with me next week?
He slid in them DMs.
She would have hated us.
It's like, he likes to fight, and we're just all like,
You want to go see a movie, though?
Yeah.
that's funny.
Oh, I'm telling you.
What movie did he take you to?
You know, I don't remember. I think the first movie was the movie from concentration camp. I believe so. That could be.
It's a hell of a thing for a first date.
I know.
It's a little heavy. Hey,
Harsh first date.
love to take you on a date. How about Schindler's List?
The what?
Oh, yeah, he didn't speak German at the time.
Oh.
No. I didn't speak English.
Oh my
Oh, I'm sorry.
God.
Yeah.
So were you guys using hand signals
Oh,
to
you'd
talk
be
to each other?
surprised.
Just like,
No.
Point at cinema.
yes.
That guy? No good.
Yeah. So I said, okay, I go to English school,
Yeah.
And I did for a couple of weeks. And every time I came home and I learned something, and he said, what did you say? I couldn't understand.
So wait, you were living with him?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
I thought you said you came home. And
My mom's house.
Oh,
And
okay.
visit.
Okay.
Hey, Brandon, do you know what I can tell you about Surfshark, brother?
We are not doing this bit again.
What bit are you talking about?
Go ahead, Eli. What is Surfshark?
It's a VPN, Brandon.
Oh, that's what the porn people use, right?
And the servers offer the best speeds around. By default. It's easy to install and you can run unlimited uses on a single subscription.
Did you know you can overcome location-based price discrimination on plane tickets and car rentals by changing your VPN location?
For real?
Yeah, no shit. I didn't even know that.
It's always a good sign in the ad when that happens.
I genuinely didn't know that, but that's really good to know.
Surfshark.
Surfshark. Plus, you can be safe on public Wi-Fi because Surfshark encrypts your data, making it useless for anybody who steals it.
Again, very important.
Identity theft is not a joke, brother.
Encryption ciphers scrambles that data so no one can make sense of it.
Kind of like my thoughts. It's so scrambled, nobody can make sense of it.
Ooh.
It just sounds like the horny Kool-Aid man.
Head over to surfshark.com/unsubscribe and use code unsub10 to get an additional 4 months of Surfshark VPN.
That's surfshark.com/unsubscribe using code unsub10.
And he says, I don't know what you're saying. And I said, why I go to school for? I stayed another week or so. And every time I come home, he said, I don't know. It was a school English. And he just couldn't understand it, And I said, forget it. So I quit. And I said, now you're going to teach me, It's amazing how much you can communicate when you have to.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't it true? Right?
Depends on what you're communicating, I guess. Certain things go beyond words, I assume.
I live with a Mexican, Opa, and I don't understand half of what she's saying to me, but I understand it. Right? I don't know the words, but I know what she's saying to me.
Even crazier because she speaks perfect English.
Yeah. She hits me with flip-flops. She'll take her shoe off and she'll hit me with her shoe.
Chanclas.
The chanclas.
There's one. Oh, sorry.
No, I drove my husband crazy with TV. Every time we watch TV, I say, what she said. I ask questions. That's how I learned.
Mm-hmm.
But by me trying to learn how to speak English, my kids never kept to German because, I wanted to learn English. So I wanted him to keep speaking English. So I learned.
First generation, it's
Oh,
teach
they
them
understand
English.
words, especially the ones they're not supposed to say. That's the first.
Well,
Can you
Scheisse.
Yeah, I was about to say. Scheisse?
Yeah, they learn the bad things first.
You had, Brandon told the story during war that you went, there was a bomb, you were supposed to go into a different shelter and then it got bombed, or someone was saying come in the house.
Like a house.
Yeah, come in the house, but then you didn't go in the house and then something happened to that house?
Oh, the back of our house got bombed.
Yeah, can you tell that story?
Well, that was when we checked, my brother and I, the front were okay. Then there is what they call between the back house and this, there's not a garden, but
A common area.
yeah. And that was bombed. And our apartment, we lived in the second floor. The wall was that much. We could look up to the third floor. It was just, So we were lucky. Didn't think we were very lucky, I tell you. And I don't know, I have so much more I know, but I can't think of it.
There is one that I thought was really funny that I heard of where I can't remember. I think it was your mother, but it was when the British came in and they busted into the house. When they were first taking the city.
Oh,
They had some hot Texans with them.
Apparently so.
Very good-looking Texans with them.
When the first English came in, right? We were on the second floor. I was in the corner. I was scared stiff, because they were with guns, of course. And they came, looked the apartment, and my mom tried to say, "Hi, Hitler."
Wrong crowd. Wrong crowd.
Were they just like?
It did.
How did they react?
I think they didn't pay too much attention. They took all our jewelry, and stuff, the English. And I thought I'd die when she did that. I said, "Mom, I hope they didn't hear you." But she was scared because she was taken, and she thought, I don't know what she was thinking.
She
6 years under.
thought, yeah, she thought they were not
Yeah.
Nazi Germany type soldiers.
They were scared. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you're just
I was
covering
really
down.
scared.
Yeah.
How did your family feel about the Nazis coming to power?
Do what?
How did your family feel about the Nazis coming to power?
I will tell you, son. I shouldn't say that, but I say it. First, Hitler was okay. When he first started, he was okay. We had food, everything great.
A good economy. That's a
was-
very good
everything
economy.
was great. And then it started slowly, He got greedy, in other words. Then he wanted to take other countries like France and
Poland.
Poland and all this. He went slowly. He wanted more and more and more. He got greedy. And then when they went into Russia, that's when they made a big boo-boo.
Yeah.
Okay? Because the German army were not prepared for that cold weather. The Russians were used to it, So most of these people, the soldiers died. They froze, That's when he lost it. And
Well, so if I recall correctly, there was an instance where Hitler came to your town, right?
he was,
Yeah.
he was on
So you got to see Hitler in person.
Yeah.
And whenabouts was that? That was before the war? Or was it? Okay.
No, I think it was. Oh, don't quote me on that. I know. I remember all the people lined up, and he came in that big Jeep or whatever it was.
A Volkswagen.
It was a Volkswagen.
Parade.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, and there, my mom could have got in trouble there. She couldn't keep her mouth shut. I said, "Mom,
It seems to be a recurring theme.
Generational.
Oh, gee, we told her, you better do what the others do or you'll be picked up. That was before she got picked up,
Yeah.
And
So you actually saw Hitler.
yeah.
2 degrees of separation away from Hitler, Brandon Herrera.
1 degree for me, 2 degrees for you guys.
Oh, dang it.
Yeah. What is it? 6, 7 degrees from Kevin Bacon?
Your mom didn't salute them, did she?
I remember one of the German army. I don't know if it was Goebbels or
Yeah, Goebbels.
or what's the other one?
Hitler?
One of them were a good guy,
Is it Rommel?
Connor,
Rommel?
What was it?
Yeah, one of
The
them.
good
It was
one.
Rommel, because I think
Who
Rommel.
defected to England, whose name is escaping me right now.
I don't know.
Because I think Rommel was kind of one of those. He was just a really good general, but I don't think he was exactly pro-Hitler.
here. Connor, come here. Come here. Come here. Step in for a second. I'll be over here.
Hess. Was it Hess?
No.
Oh.
It was Goebbels or Rommel, one or the other. You know.
Yeah, I think Rommel was one of the ones that was not. He was a good general and he loved Germany, but I don't think he was a Nazi necessarily.
Yeah.
He wasn't super down with the program. If I'm remembering correctly, this is all just history
He was
textbooks.
really good too.
There is one thing I thought was kind of funny that I wanted to bring up because it was a funny story. I remember we took a road trip at some point, and I played a song for you, and it was Erica.
Yeah.
That song from World War II. The soldiers would sing it a bunch and
Auf
such.
der Heide blüht ein kleines Mädchen.
Yep.
Das heißt
I was curious to see if you knew it, and you started singing along with it, and I thought that was very funny, and because the song's about a flower back in my hometown that is singing about a girl.
Yeah.
Are they singing about Oma?
Well, so funny enough, what was your story? You said you heard the soldiers walking through town singing the song when you were a little girl.
What do you mean?
I remember you saying at one point that the soldiers would be walking through town and you'd hear them singing the song.
Yeah.
And as a little girl, you're like, "That's me."
Yeah. I said, they're singing my song.
With your two brothers, were they when they got drafted, correct?
Yes. Only one got drafted.
Okay. And
My oldest brother.
Oldest brother got drafted, and then your other one still
He had
surrendered.
to do what they call it, SS, the Nazis, told him to do.
Gotcha.
The
They had
SS.
to help build the wall by the river and all kinds of stuff. We never know where they went.
This would have been like Gestapo.
Yeah.
Because I think you guys had to do like kind of Hitler Youth kind of stuff, right? Or he did at least.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, so he was told, "Hey, you have to do that." Now, when he surrendered for the town, you said, right?
Yeah.
So they were just, that would be terrifying. So it's just like go across the river on a boat and then just hope they don't shoot you.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Of course, the Nazis were gone by then,
But the British who had just fought all the way to that point, they don't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was, yeah.
But I think he was later recognized by the city for that, wasn't he?
Yeah. Matter of fact, I wish I had a letter from the governor, what brave and young man he was, to do this, I don't know if I ever find it. I have it somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
And they even wrote to me while I was here,
In the U.S.?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And my father, he wasn't scared of nothing.
How did you feel about the British coming in? Were you afraid of them, or?
Of course I was afraid. And look, I was still a young kid, right? And the first black man I seen, I was hiding. I never seen a black man, at the time. I never did. And we were scared of them,
You just never seen anything like it.
No.
Were you told they were going to hurt you, or?
Yeah, we don't. You hear stories. They're gonna rape you. They're gonna do, stuff like this. And then later on, the GIs, the English, told candies to the kids. That was later on. And there was something. I never forget seeing the black guy. I said, "My God, how did he get black?"
Just confusion.
Yeah.
That would be wild if you've never seen it. You're like, "What the fuck?"
Well, tell that to Netflix. But
So what age was it when you decided to move? Oh, you moved at 18 to America, but what made you to decide
or was
to
it?
do that?
Did you move to America at 18, or was it years later?
No, it was. I was 20, I think. 20.
So you'd been dating Opa for
Yeah.
a year and a half
Yeah.
or so?
Yeah.
Oh, so he was over in
Yeah, he was in Germany. He was
okay.
He was occupational force.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mannheim was in West Germany? Yeah, well, you met an American, so you were in West Germany, right?
Can I ask a question real quick?
Yes.
We call her opa?
Oma. Oma means grandmother,
Okay.
and opa is grandfather.
Opa, okay.
Yeah.
Oma. Okay, gotcha.
Oma and Opa. Yeah.
Gotcha. So both. And did he bring you stateside together? Did you move to America together?
Well, there was another big store.
Uh-oh.
I mean,
I may not know this one.
Was it another one of his friends who like to fight?
My mom may not know the story.
She just looked over at your mom for confirmation.
Let me poop in peace, Connor. I'm not playing your game.
Hi, Eli.
Won't be needing this with today's sponsor, TUSHY.
Then how will I clean my butt? Shh. No.
So do yourself a favor and get a bidet by... Eli, pay attention to me.
What's wrong with you?
Come on, we've all been to the void. Bidet by TUSHY.
What'd you say about the toilet paper?
Washing with a precise stream of clean water helps to remove 99% of bacteria, as opposed to wiping with regular toilet paper. Here, let me show you.
Please don't show me anything.
You don't know what you want. Soothing, isn't it? And speaking of soothing, TUSHY Bidet provides 2-in-1 benefits, preventing micro tears and using soothing water to cleanse instead of irritating toilet paper. Not only is it easy to install, it only takes about 10 minutes, every Hello TUSHY Bidet comes with a hassle-free 30-day return and a 12-month warranty.
I am squeaky clean.
Instantly improve your health from the bottom up. For a limited time, our listeners get 10% off their first order by using code UNSUBSCRIBE at checkout.
That's 10% off your first bidet order at hellotushy.com with promo code UNSUBSCRIBE.
we wanted to get married, right? I said, I'm not going to the States not being married, see? But he said he's got to go to the States first because of his father or something. I don't know, something. He probably was sick or something, I forgot. And I said, oh, there we go again. He goes to the States, he never come back, right? That's what you think.
Yeah.
And I went to work, and one day, off work, I got out, there was my husband, you know. He wasn't my husband then. I said, I can't believe it, you did come back. He said, of course, I told you I'd be back, you know.
Running out on a family in the 50s was so easy. You could move a town over and change
You
your
didn't have
name.
a family yet. That's adorable. How long was that before he came back?
He was in the States maybe, I would say 3 weeks, 4 weeks, something like that.
Oh, okay. And then he just showed back up in Germany and knocked on your door?
Yeah.
All right, and tell the truth. You waited on him?
No, I thought he'd never come back.
She found the fires.
Yeah. You started going back out with the fighter?
No, I didn't go out. No.
But
He's like, well, hear me out.
Yeah.
Hear me out.
Oma was an attractive young lady.
I'm learning some family history today.
Yeah, no, I went to work, and like I said, he came and he surprised me at work, you know. And then he asked me, you want to marry me? And I looked at him and I said, I got to think about it. I was a bad girl. I got to admit, I was a teaser. Okay?
It all comes
I
out.
did.
You get one sip of claw in this one.
Oma likes a party.
I told him, I got to think about it, you know. And he said, why? I told you, you know.
He flew back out here. He's like, I'm here. So? I don't care.
You know what I did? He was on CQ. You know what CQ is?
What is that?
CQ
Office
is
work.
when you're on guard.
Yes.
CQ.
Oh,
You're on,
CQ, yeah.
Yeah, CQ. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're on duty.
He was there. So I used the towel around my face and I called his number. And he answered and I said, "Oh, I heard about you. You want to go to the movie with me?" I pretended I was somebody else, okay?
1950 relationship testing.
Yeah. Trying to see if he's going to go out with another girl.
Yes.
We are the
I
same.
tested him, okay?
We are the same people. Just 75 years
A
later.
girl sliding into like your DMs, like the best friend sliding into your DMs to see if you'll answer back.
Yep.
That's what Oma was doing.
Did he say yes?
No.
Oh.
He said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm taken."
Good man.
Yeah, hung up.
I
I
said-
know that was Eric.
Yeah.
That German accent I know from anywhere.
Oh my goodness.
You'd never believe this. My girlfriend just called me through a towel.
Well, he threw me off.
And then when he came home, he told me about it. He said, "Would you believe some girl called me?"
Oh, he knew. He knew. He 100. He had.
Some German girl called me. It sounded like she was talking through a towel.
I said, "What? What did you say?"
You told him the story later, right?
How long after that did you accept his proposal?
Huh?
How long after that did you accept his marriage proposal?
Oh, it was. Oh, then I started lying to him. Okay.
Wait, what?
I said, "I don't know." I said, "You don't know I have a kid." You know, I told him I had a kid.
Just testing him?
What kind of tests are these? I have a child. I just came back to Germany
You know
for
what he said? He said, "Really? You didn't tell me that in the beginning, you know, but can I see the kid?" That's when I got in trouble. I didn't have the kid. I finally had to admit that I was, you know, testing him. I finally told him, "Yeah, I'll marry you."
Oh my gosh.
He's like,
I put him through hell.
Yes, I did.
Before that, she met several guys at the same corner.
Oh, yeah. But
Wait,
I
what?
was a teaser. I don't know.
Her excuse is I was a teaser. I love it.
I'm just a girl.
There were so many guys who wanted to go out with me, you know.
Oma is a hottie, man.
Well, she matched her nails to her shirt and her necklace. I know what you're doing.
So I used to say, you know, good-looking guys, right? And I said, "Okay, I'll meet you over there on that, wherever, on the corner in the restaurant." And then I went over there and see if he really showed up, and then I go home. I didn't never.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I did.
You were breaking hearts.
I did.
You broke so many hearts. Oma.
Just for fun?
One day I got caught.
Doing what?
Like just standing him up, essentially.
Yes, that's what it is.
Yeah.
That fool.
In the restaurant, a restaurant across the street.
She runs across the street. Why did she do this to all of us? We can see her.
Look, that asshole did what he said he was going to do.
Now to wait for the one to come back from America. We'll tell him I have a child.
But was it Opa that caught you?
Ruthless.
Yes.
Yeah. Opa was the one who caught you.
No, he caught you.
Yes, he did. Before we were married, okay.
Well, I'd hope so.
What was special about Opa? Out of all the hearts you broke?
He was not a fighter like some of the guys I met, but the only thing, I was a good dancer when I was young, you know, and he couldn't dance, you know, for nothing. So I had to teach him how to dance, you know. He stepped on my feet all the time. But he learned the polka and, you know, a couple of things. And if somebody, your daddy was very jealous. When somebody asked me to dance, right? He was okay the first time, but he came back a second time.
Now he's a fighter.
That was it. She's not dancing right now, he said. He was very jealous.
And then you moved back to the United States after that? Or How long did you live in Germany?
We left Germany, like you said, in the 72, right?
That was way later. He's talking about at first.
Oh, the first time. First time was 50, let me see, 50,
We'll say 53,
53, 54.
something like that.
Yeah, around there. You know, we went to Oklahoma, you know. But meanwhile, we had a couple kids, you know, after we were married. We got married, I was 21. All grown up.
Yeah, very grown up.
So
Everything.
You had real kids, not the fake one you told them that you had.
Yeah, right. I had real kids. So my oldest, Henry, and Robert were born in Germany, okay? But we had problems getting married. You never believe why. We wanted to get married by church. My church were baptized in Germany. You know. Our preacher wouldn't marry us because he didn't have a baptism paper. So he
Germany,
said,
very big on papers.
yeah.
Yes.
And then I had to get a paper from the court that I'd never been in jail or in trouble, right?
To marry
Yeah.
you, to get married. That's wild.
Yeah. So he sent to Texas that he get a birth certificate, right? But we had a date set when we want to get married. Everything was arranged, and paper never came in, you know. So we got married in a way, but not in church. We got married in the
Like courthouse?
yeah.
In Germany?
In Germany, yeah. And so we never got married by church, you know.
So, Oma, was he still on duty with the army in Germany when you guys got married at the courthouse?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he stayed through, he was active duty with the military until after the Korean War.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But then, what I wanted to say, when he had to go back, right, I wasn't ready to go with him because my papers didn't were all together from the courthouse, from, you know. And so he went to the States, and I stayed with the kids, 2 kids I had then. And talking about scared, I couldn't speak English. And I had to go on a certain time. I had to go over to meet him. And I was tempted not to go, I'll be honest with you. I was scared to death, you know. And so I went in a way and...
To a country whose language you don't speak.
Right. So
alone with 2 kids.
I arrived in New York, didn't know. He always told me, he said, if I cannot make it to pick you up in New York, ask for the Red Cross to help you, you know. And I had this in my head. So I came to New York. I stood on the, looking for him, he wasn't there. I said, oh my gosh.
He gave you an address in New York, right?
From the Red Cross.
Okay.
So
go to New York, I'll find you.
Yeah.
I mean,
Just go
that's
to the-
it.
just
There's
go to the
no
Red
text.
Cross.
You're not texting anyone, and it's a snail mail. It's literally like, oh, I'm here.
It was the 50s.
That's it. I'll wait.
They didn't notify him on time to catch the plane to New York in time, you see. So that's why he wasn't there. So I said, well, he told me to go to the Red Cross. Where's the Red Cross, you know?
He was off asking women on dates and just seeing if they'd show up.
Yeah. So he said, go to the bus, takes you to the Red Cross. So I went in the bus, suitcase, 2 kids. And then there were other girls that got married, you know, and one French girl I never forget. she said, "Oh, are you traveling by yourself?" I said, "Yeah, my husband couldn't make it," and blah, blah, blah. And she said, "Where are you going?" And I said, "He told me to go to the Red Cross. They will help me." She said, "You're in the wrong bus." I was in the wrong bus. So I had to take the kids again, suitcase, and go to the other bus. Was in front.
Were you speaking to her in French?
She spoke
German?
English.
Or English, okay.
She could speak good English. You know.
Okay, so you knew a little English at this time then?
No, I didn't even know the money. The guy on the airport, you know, that had my luggage, I said, "Oh my God." So I grabbed my money and I just put the hand, not to the day I know what he took.
Take what you need.
Very trusting.
Yeah.
It's the meme. Yeah. Is this enough?
I didn't know.
Have you watched 1923 yet?
I've seen the first season.
So like his wife is trying to come
Oh,
to England. It's
yeah.
It's the same thing. You don't know
Yeah.
what you're doing. You're just
Right.
arriving in a foreign country. Like,
Right.
You don't know what's going on.
Right. Now the bus, she told the bus driver, "Please tell her when to get off," you know. So I got off, it was coming down rain. You can imagine, with two kids. One little rascal that liked to run off, right?
Wait, how old were they at the time?
Let me see, Henry, he was about, I don't know, 2 years old. And the other one was still a baby, you know. And a big suitcase, you know. I was soaking wet. I looked like a wet rat. Anyway, we got to the Red Cross.
We got to work on that self-talk, Oma.
We didn't know it was closed, you know. So that French girl happened to be there. And she says, "Well, we got to wait till they open up. And I'm pretty sure they give you room upstairs to clean up, you know, and get the kids changed." And they were Robert was screaming, my baby. And he wanted milk, of course. And they were used to warm milk. Where do I get milk? I couldn't get milk. Oh, my goodness. And then I want to change the kids in the restroom. I lost the key to the suitcase. So I had to break the suitcase open, right? And so I changed them, you know. Meanwhile, the Red Cross opened up, and that French girl helped me a little bit. She asked if they have milk or can get milk for the baby, you know. And they did. And I warmed the milk in the bathroom because they were used to warm milk, you know. Yeah. So I said, no.
If I can just interrupt for a second, it is amazing to me how vividly you remember this 70 years later.
I'm amazed at myself.
Well, this is your first time
I forget
in
things.
America, right?
Pardon?
This was your first time in America.
Yes. So how do I close the suitcase? You know? I said, I took the belt off. I had one. And I strapped it around the suitcase. And then the lady from the Red Cross said, "Come on, there's a room upstairs. You can stay there till your husband comes. Can let the kids rest and all this." We made it up to the stairs, right? And I heard my husband's voice. He said, "This is not my wife." And I turned around, looked down, there were stairs, and there was a French girl.
So he could have gone bride shopping.
Honey, hi.
And then she said, "If you're looking for your wife, she's right up there, you know." And we were still soaking wet, you know. And he came up and we changed, like I said, the kids, and I changed and all this good stuff. We stayed there for a couple of hours.
What'd you do that couple hours after?
Oh, come on.
Mine in the gutter.
Made Brandon's mom.
So,
You were happy to see it.
They read the Bible.
Yeah, exactly.
They sung hymns.
So he said,
I need another claw.
So you're in New York City. You're at the Red Cross. Your husband has just showed up.
we had only 2 hours, I believe, and then we had to leave, you know, that was just temporary. So we were all tired. So my husband went to the hotel room, and it was so amazing. The bed had a box on the back. I never forget it. You put a quarter in, and the bed goes. And I said, great, I can put the kids there and they go to sleep.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, Brandon, can I have a white claw, please?
What flavor would you like, buddy?
Anything, thank you.
Look at this baby nap machine.
I was told it's also a funny story of you learning to drive stick.
Oh, yeah, that's a good story, too. But I'm not finished with it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, go on with the bed story.
Yeah.
Please continue with the.
Buddy, I'm ready for more vibrating beds.
Yeah, continue with the vibrating bed story. I'm excited.
I've never seen that before.
There you go.
Brandon, thank you for inviting us here.
I hope you're having a grand old time.
And then next morning, we were relaxed. We went to the train station.
Oh, man. Oh, stress melted away.
I guarantee you, nobody who started the first 20 minutes of this episode thought it was going to be anything like
derailed
this.
this one real quick.
So you were well rested, a little dehydrated. You went to the train station.
About 30 years too early for Gatorade.
Get 6 kids.
Oh, man.
So we went in the train to Oklahoma. And halfway the train stopped, let everybody out to eat, to get started. And there was another shock for me. I was looking at a couple, you know, one was white, one was black, you know. It was so new for me. And the waitress said, you can come in here, it's only for whites. I said, excuse me, they can come in here? I didn't say that, but I was thinking that.
There's still segregation.
What year was that?
Early mid-50s.
Mid-50s.
Oh, okay.
55.
I was in shock. She said, you can come here and you got to go in that place where all the blacks go, you know.
What state was this? Oh, well.
It was halfway from New York to Oklahoma.
Well, it was one of those states. How about that?
One of the 25 on that half of the country.
This is only
That would be so crazy because if you've never seen
never
that.
seen that. And I couldn't believe it. They had to eat outside because he don't want to separate from her, you know. That was crazy. And then we got to Oklahoma. And
Was that Fort Sill? Was he stationed there, or do you remember?
Fort Sill, Oklahoma, yeah. Yeah. Lawton, matter of fact, Lawton, Oklahoma. So, right away, they didn't have quarters for us, you know. So, we rented a house on the outside, you know. It had a tornado bunker and everything, boy, the works. And then we moved to a little town. I forgot the name of it too. And I learned how to drive, right? I couldn't drive then. And my husband, he had no patience. Every time I did something with a stick, you know, I did something wrong, don't you get it? You know, I said, okay. So one day he was at work, and I went in the car. I said, I learned myself, right? So I went in the car,
Honey, I am proficient at stick driving. So
Good news.
The transmission's gone.
Yeah. Good news. I've learned how to do it. Bad news. Car's smoking now.
And I drove. I put it in the back, and I'm sure I chirped. And forward too, and I said, I hope I don't get in the garage, or in the garage door. But I did pretty good. And I said, I'm going to visit my girlfriend. She was halfway between Loudon and, that little town. And I did great, and I drove, was fine. But I had problem. Every time I stopped, the motor shut off.
Install it.
Release the clutch.
So I said, I'll just start it again, right?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Those curbs are probably begging for their blood, too.
Well, how many? So you had your kids home alone. You took all your kids with you, I'm guessing?
Of course.
Yeah. Do you remember what kind of car it was?
No.
A manual.
Yeah. I went to the friend I met, and my husband had to go by the highway to go home, you see. And he seen the car, and he stopped. And he said, who drove the car over here? And I said, I did. They said, what?
The rims were destroyed.
Yeah, there's another story. Then, anyway, we stayed there for a while, and then when we got orders to go to Panama, right? We went to Panama. No, matter of fact, this first time I drove a ship. The other one was not a ship. I don't think. Anyway, so Oklahoma, well, we got there and I died almost with heat. They had no air conditioning. They had a giant fan, and at them years I had migraines, and that wasn't very good with the fan, But again, I learned how to drive. We went to the commissary. It was up the hill, right?
Oh, God. In Panama?
Panama. And I drove up. Everything good. My girlfriends were with me, and we had a babysitter then. And there were guard house before you get into the commissary, And we had to show our ID, and okay, I got my ID, and I was on the guardhouse, and I said, oh my God, the car is going backwards.
It's on a hill.
And I told the guard, I said, I'll be right back.
Just look at it real quick. Look at my
Even the guard had to laugh.
Oh, I bet.
Oh, gee.
Oh, my God.
And it was so hot over there. Oh, my God.
Yeah, that's tropical heat. That's that
Yeah.
humid.
And 6 months of rain. That was terrible. And the grapes, they had grape season. I never seen anything like it. The whole, everything, patio, everything was full of grapes. The fire department came and, yeah, it's that bad.
Oh, dude, the documentaries with the crab migrations where they just go across the island.
Yeah.
Snow crabs.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Big
And they
ones.
go in your tires, when you carve apart, they go in your tires.
Everything infested with crabs. Kind of reminds me of Fable, actually.
So in Panama, were there vibrating beds? No.
We're not going to let that one die, huh?
Cody's like, I have an opportunity.
Germany, Oklahoma, Panama. Did you go anywhere else after moving around for the service?
husband went to Vietnam, Korea, and I had to take care of all the kids by myself. That was not easy.
No.
And I had to take the car to Bremerhaven in Germany. Germany, That was hard.
You had to take what now? Sorry, I didn't.
My car. I always had to take it on, how do you explain that?
Ship it? Like
to get it
transported?
Yeah.
Okay, yep,
You know.
transported to Germany.
And oh Lord, there was hard times, you know. It was always hard times, but still funny when you think about it.
You know, something that is also, you just spurred my memory. We have some family, or like family, well, family of yours, family of mine, but that were on the other side of the Berlin Wall in East Berlin.
It was my dad's family. I never met. Because the war were going on, they built a wall, you know. And for me, as an American, my husband said, "You're not going to go. You're not coming back." Right?
Yeah.
My brother went, but for me, it was too dangerous, you know, being married to an American.
Right, those guns pointed inward.
Yeah. So I never went.
That's amazing. You have lived quite the life, ma'am.
Oh my goodness, I tell you. There's probably more, I can't remember more.
No, I've always been impressed by, always been impressed by just how sharp you are and just how much you remember.
That, you know, that I still got my mind partially.
I have a question though, Oma. Do you have any funny stories about Brandon? Like growing up when he was a little boy.
He was a cute little boy.
Oh, of course he's cute. Do you remember any funny stories though about Brandon?
I used to pick him up from school, right?
Yeah.
And I'd take him home, and he didn't want to go home. He wanted to stay with Oma.
Why?
I don't know.
Well, yeah, I'll wrap myself out on that one. I was always sneak into Oma's house because she'd have Nutella.
Nutella.
Which you always called, it's a nougat.
Nougat.
Yeah.
Straight sugar butter.
Yep, just fattening me up.
The fun time I had in my life is, I think, when we had all the campers. My son had a camper, they had camper, we had a camper, and we parked kind of, you know, all together. Okay. And that's when Brandon every morning disappeared, came to and look at.
My parents would be looking for me. I'm just waving from the window with Nutella bread. Yep. Hey guys.
Brandon just had a jar of Nutella.
It's old chubby Brandon.
It's a little fat kid.
That was so funny. Oh my goodness. And then we got born in Germany. She's a German too.
Oh, she's German?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You were born on an army base, right? On a base in Germany?
Sure.
Yeah.
She
remembers.
She's like, I don't remember.
I'm American.
They weren't shot, it was a girl.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your story. We truly, truly appreciate your time.
I never thought I would tell you because I'm not a, how do you say,
storyteller?
She can talk, but I can't.
Just, yeah, not like braggadocious or a storyteller or how do you?
No, like a preacher, right, in church. He came and
charismatic, yeah.
He said, "Don't you want to tell your story?" I said, "What?" I said, "No, my daughter can talk, not me."
Lies.
You killed this. You did amazing.
I think you did really good. I'm sure the audience will agree, but I've always said that the stories that I've heard growing up, and just picking this up piece by piece and hearing bits of your story when I was 6, 8, 12, 15, you've got an awesome story, and you're one of the most inspirational women I've ever met.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I see everything like it was, but I can't think of dates or how old I was, you see.
I can't remember what I had for breakfast yesterday.
Oh, yes.
Well, we truly appreciate your time. Thank you so freaking much.
I show you guys, and nice have met you, okay?
Very nice to meet you.
Wonderful
to meet you. Even you, Cody. Even you, Cody.
Cut it a little bit.
And got the glasses on. I couldn't tell on one picture. I said, "Wait a minute, where's Brian?"
That was Eli's fault, by the way. He put my face on Brandon and Brandon's face on my face, and people couldn't tell the difference.
Nope.
On first glance, it was a little confusing.
Yeah, it was
terrifying.
confusing.
I was laughing.
Patty, what picture was that you showed me?
While we're still
And I had to look twice. I said, which one is mine?
I have a question. One last question for you. If you could give any piece of advice, living the life that you've lived, if you could give any piece of advice to young people, what would it be?
It's a great question.
That they're very lucky today, what they got. You know, really. And a lot of kids today do not appreciate what they got. You know, we appreciate every little thing. Let me tell you, we were hungry. And when we get a ration for the week, depends how many the family was. When the potatoes run out, we peeled all the potatoes and we fried them. There was another meal, you know, for us. I forgot something.
No,
yeah. when the British came in, you know, and they were still with their rifles and all this. But by then we were so hungry. All the stores were gone, you know. I'm sorry, I have a cramp.
You okay?
A cramp.
Do you want some water or something?
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
And so I said, well, let's go to the stores. They were bombed. We find some food, you know, canned food or something, you know. So me, my brother, we went across the street. There were big, what do you call it? Not a warehouse, but where they sell everything.
Like a general store?
Yeah, big store. And they also had food store in there. We went in there, and there was that English guy with a machine gun, you know, and he just looked at us, and we looked at him, and we kept on going, you know, hoping he don't shoot us, you know. But he didn't. He understood, I guess, you know.
Yeah.
And
So you're saying kids should be grateful for what they have now?
today, yeah, they do not. They don't know how good they got it, you know. They not appreciate.
I agree fully, Oma.
Yeah.
Well, on a lighter note, I want to show you. So this is our faces swapped. So this is me and Brandon swapped.
You kidding?
No.
Wow.
That's my face on Brandon's head.
That's Brandon.
So that's me
Yeah.
with Brandon's face, and that's Brandon with my face.
Wait, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Wait, no, that's Brandon. That's Brandon.
Oh yeah, Brandon works our face.
Cody's like, that's
Even
me.
I'm confused, but yeah, that's Brandon with my face.
Wow.
So that's my head with Brandon's face.
Am I the only person who thinks that you don't look similar at all?
I mean, when you did the face swap's pretty.
The face swap, that one I get.
Even that one, I was like, wait.
Certain picture, not so much, but you know, he's got some in there. He had me too.
I know.
The other one's hilarious.
That one got
We
my
tricked
mom.
Oma.
Cody's gonna be over in Oma's camper with Nutella.
Only if she has a vibrating bed.
Oh no!
I enjoy you guys.
Oma, I love you. Thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure. Cody, you want to close us out, you beautiful son of a gun?
I hope I live a little longer so I can enjoy all you guys. I've been saying that, you know. I said, all my life it was hard, you know. I had migraines for 25 years, you know, and had to take care of 5 kids, you know. My husband was always gone.
6.
Because, what are you coughing over?
Said 6 kids.
Is she the imaginary kid?
She's making all sorts of confessions today.
5 kids plus the other one. No, I'm sorry, continue.
So I enjoy life a little bit. I'm grateful that I can live still on my own in my age, you know, that I'm grateful for. She wants me move in with her, I know, but as long as I can do for myself, I want to be here.
Yes, ma'am.
You know? And I think everyone feels that way, don't you think?
Yeah, no, you're in better shape than I will be in 5 years. So I think you're doing great.
I try. I mean, I got my problems.
You just turned 93 4 days ago.
4 days ago.
Oh, happy belated birthday.
On Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Happy belated Mother's Day, too.
Did my grandson call me? No.
I did.
Oh,
I
my
absolutely did.
God.
I will
Brandon.
pull up the receipt
Brandon.
right now.
Pull up your phone.
Did he call?
Yes.
Look at that. Look at that right here. Hold on. I'm going to pull that up. Sunday. We talked for 22 minutes.
Darn.
You wanted to yell at me. I can't believe I almost got shade for that.
You did not leave a memory.
Apparently, I'm sorry I bored you.
It hangs up.
Just like, oh.
Back to the vibrating bed.
Why did Cody call me? They all look the same.
Oh, my
She straight up said Brandon's calling again.
Yeah.
Is that why you declined my first 3 calls?
She's gonna smack the hell out of you, Brandon.
She probably will. But seriously, Oma, thank you so much. for
Thank you,
coming on.
Oma.
Thank you, thank you.
You take care of yourself.
Oh, well, all right. I love
And
you.
I really enjoyed you guys, okay?
We
Enjoy hanging out with you.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
I never thought I can do that. I can do it. She said, you can.
Killed it.
Amazing.
Cody, you want to close this out?
We're gonna kill this one.
Yes.
Everyone, thank you for joining the Unsubscribed podcast. I was joined today by Oma. Oma. Brandon Herrera, Eli Doubletap, King Trout's here with us, and myself, Donald Operator. Thank you so much for joining the Unsubscribed podcast.
We love you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.